Hello, welcome to a quick little video dedicated to the mods and mod load order that I use for my playthrough of Skyrim's Anniversary Edition in 2023. This is supposed to be a little video for people who are getting back into Skyrim for a little bit of fun, or maybe your first time. Wouldn't recommend it on the first try, but hey, you do you. Now, let's go through the basics of what we have, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what the graphic update does. Bear in mind, this is all on the PS5 or PS4, whichever version you're playing on. But, yeah. This is just basic, bare minimum stuff you can get if you're playing on the PS4 or 5. So, first mod I have is the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. There is no Anniversary Edition, but due to the second mod I have, the Unofficial Skyrim Creation Club patch, it sort of turns it into a combined Anniversary patch. So, the first one does very simple stuff. It fixes a bunch of gameplay, quest bugs, adds in NPCs, objects, and just general fixes and quality of life that were left out of the base game due to whatever reason. It's a pretty good quality of life mod. The only problem with it that I've found so far is that the Thieves Guild questline is a bit bugged with this. And by that I don't mean the quest itself, I'm talking about the side jobs you do for Delvin and Vex. Anyone who's played through the game knows that doing 5 Thieves Guild themed jobs in Winterhold, Solitude, Markarth, and Whiterun will unlock a special job that unlocks a fence and grows the power of the Thieves Guild a little bit. With this mod activated, unfortunately, you can only do one of these special jobs. Just period. I have heard that when you reach a certain point in the quest line, which is the Nightingales, you're able to do more, but I like to do it all in one go, so yeah. You can still stack up the jobs, so you'll have 5 out of 5 out of all of them, but you won't be able to get the job from Delvin. A good way to fix that is to just disable this mod, load up the game, accept the job, quick save, load it back up, and do it again. And you'll have the job in your inventory, or your quest log. So that's pretty simple stuff. The next one is the Creation Club patch. This just makes it so that you can reinforce or temper Creation Club content, as well as fixing a few bugs here and there that are present in the Creation Club. So, pretty useful stuff. With these two together, you get the Anniversary patch, essentially. This is for if you decide to play on Survival Mode. Survival Mode is a Creation Club content that kind of sucks, but personal preference if you want to play it. What Survival Mode does is add in hunger, thirst, and hunger, weather conditions, and fatigue. Very basic, very bare bones. You can find mods that do it better. This makes it so that the rates in which you get hungry, tired, or cold is reduced by roughly a quarter. It's pretty useful and helpful. It also allows you the ability to fast travel if you are staring at a vanilla signpost or at a carriage. I believe the signpost will actually have a fast travel option you can click. But if you look at a carriage and see carriage, press activate, you can fast travel while doing that. So it's a pretty decent quality of life. This is the realm of Lorkhan. This is a custom starter for your new game of Skyrim. Basically what this does is it will cut out the attack on Helgen and the opening cutscene. You'll instead spawn in the character creator in a new area where you can create your character and choose a location in which you spawn in. You can also choose a boon, a curse, or a class, as well as factions to join. The only downside with this mod is that the Unbound quest doesn't get completed as far as I know. You can still advance the main story by going to Whiterun and talking to the Jarl, and telling him about the dragon attacks. Pretty straightforward, very simple to do. My advice is to start the game normally, save, go out, turn this mod on, go back in, and outside Helgen and Riverwood is a crystal. It looks like one of the ideal masters from the Dawnguard DLC. Examine it and it'll take you to the realm of Lorkhan. There you can customize your playstyle however you want. My advice also, the boons, curses, and classes, you can accept all of them. Once accepted, you can't turn them off. It is a passive buff you get for the rest of the game. Technically it's 3,000 hours, but it's the entire game. My advice is to pick a class, pick a boon, and if you want a second boon, take on a curse. This way you'll be able to balance out your playstyle without becoming OP as all hell. The classes are stuff like Knight, Archer, Acrobat, stuff like that. The boons are like Boon of the Cat, which decreases fall damage. And curses are debuffs. So it's pretty good. There's also the factions, in which you can join a enemy faction and they will attack you. Such as the Draugr, the Warlocks, the Bandits. Turning these on, you're passive to them, they're friendly to you, so they won't attack you. It's a really interesting idea, in my opinion, especially if you turn on the Draugr one, and you decide to roleplay as a Necromancer, because they won't attack you. It's an interesting idea. And with all the Creation Club content added in, you can kind of make a pretty good Necromancer. The Stones of Barenziah quest marker is just a quality of life mod. When you get a Stone of Barenziah and talk to Vex, all remaining Stones of Barenziah become tagged. You know where they're at. Makes things easier. Lore-based loading screens. I like lore, and this adds in 160 plus new load screens based on Tamriel and its lore that you can find in Skyrim, previous Elder Scrolls games, mythology, little known tidbits, stuff like that. It's pretty simple and straightforward, but it's actually kind of cool. You learn a little bit more about the world, as opposed to, you can crouch by pressing this button. Okay. Enhanced draw distance. This is pretty useful. Basically allows, not useful, it's a pretty nice. It allows you to see things from a farther distance, so you don't have pop-ins when you're like 15 feet away from where it's supposed to be. I know it's not that far, but I'm just, but it's still pretty nice. With some of the mods I have, this is actually pretty nice. It also does not cause any judderiness or anything like that, so it's nice. Extra crispy graphics makes the game look better, so things are sharper, more realistic nighttime stuff. It's nice. I like it. Mythical Ages Weather Overhaul. Now, there are a lot of Weather Overhaul mods on the mod lists. You can choose whichever one you prefer. I personally prefer this one because it gives it a more fantastical feel. The aurora is much more vibrant. Rain, thunder can be heard indoors. Sun flares, all that fun stuff. It all looks really pretty. I will give you warning that the very intense rain and snowstorms is no joke. You will not be able to see within 10 feet in front of your face. It is obscene, but I love it. You can put any weather overhaul mod here. This is just the one I recommend because it looks nice. Weather terrain enhancement, or water terrain enhancements. Whenever I play a game, I always look at water first when I get a chance to. It's because water textures are one of the more annoying things to get done right, and you can easily tell when it's bad. Base Skyrim isn't bad. It's not great anymore, considering how far we've come along. But this sort of makes the water more consistent with more constant, more modern consoles. It also adds in the waves on the ocean, so you actually have waves outside, Normally that's just in Souls time, but this adds it into main lane Skyrim as well, so it's pretty nice. Interior lighting overhaul. This one you can change in and out with any interior lighting modifications. This one is probably the better one I've found. The only problem is it does cause a bit of flickering on interior cells, which is really annoying. But if you don't have a mage light turned on or torch, you really won't notice it that much. It does look nice though, so I like it. Immersive fallen trees. This is a very simple mod. In base Skyrim, there's only really 1 or 2 trees that act as like a bridge across chasms. This adds in a lot more, so it makes getting around and exploring a little bit easier. I kind of like it. As we are in Skyrim, which is filled with forests, it makes sense you'll come across these kind of often. Simply more trees. Yeah. Lanterns of Skyrim. This adds in lantern posts on roads, villages, and settlements to basically make it not look like highway streetlights, where it's all evenly spaced so you always see. They do have a really interesting setup of this. In the wilds, you'll see them sporadically, just good distances away. But they become more dense and thicker the closer you get to settlements, villages, towns, hamlets. So it's pretty nice. And with a mod that makes the game darker, it's a godsend. Point the Way adds in more travel posts, so you can see where you're at if you don't have your compass working, which some people like to play that way. So it's a pretty nice immersion mod. This mod is so good. I love this mod. In base Skyrim, pretty much every bridge is just that same stone footbridge, which, we're in a rocky terrain, makes sense. It gets dull and annoying. It just doesn't look good after a while. This makes it so that every bridge, or at least a good chunk of them, 30 bridges, are more unique. You'll have bridges like in Markarth, which are more Dwemer. Some over in Whiterun are more ancient Nordic vibes. It's all really nice. The one outside Riverwood is now a wooden bridge. They're a logging town. They should have a wooden bridge. So it looks pretty nice. This mod is really nice. It changes the interior cells of towns. Or just not interior cells, just it changes towns to make them look more lived in. With the base game, a lot of the towns just feel kind of like set pieces. Like, here's the market. Over there is where the rich live. Over here is where the poor live. This just feels like, nah. We have stuff coming in now from trades. We have right next to the front gate. We have blacksmith with a bunch of stuff behind a gate so no one steals their shit. It's really nice, and it looks really good. So this is my recommended mod for any mod that you want to have change cities. Great cities. This is another one. It adds in for the remaining cities: Dawnstar, Dragonbridge, Falkreath, Morthal, Rorikstead, Winterhold. It all looks really pretty. I especially like the Winterhold one. This is because in the lore, Winterhold was the seat of power of Skyrim for a while, until the Red Mountain erupted and caused an earthquake that sunk half the city. Base game, you have like 5 houses and the college. This looks like, no, this was once a thriving city that just collapsed under its own weight. So I like it. This mod is more for if you want to have your Thieves Guild look pretty. Every time you finish one of the special jobs that I mentioned earlier, the vault will gain money. You can't pick up any of them, though, sadly, but it looks like, yeah, the Thieves Guild actually is bustling with getting money and coming back to power. I would advise turning this mod on after you finish the Thieves Guild questline. Otherwise, you'll come to what I did, which is you'll get to opening the gate, or opening the vault, going inside, and it's like, what? All the gold's gone! Meanwhile, the walls are just gleaming with gold. Doesn't make much sense, but this is nice. It's just a little flavor. It also adds in some food and drink stuff to the flagon. The Underarch. Solitude has this giant land bridge with the Blue Palace sitting on a secluded island. Really beautiful. But they don't really do much with the Underarchway that makes up the land bridge. This adds that in there. It turns Solitude into what looks like a port town with portside stores. This includes bakeries, places where you can buy crafting materials for homesteads and stuff like that. It's really nice. What is cool, and I'm not sure if this was intended, is when you're doing Thieves Guild jobs, you will sometimes be sent to change the business ledgers of these stores. It's a really nice little add-on, and I like it. Mysticism, a magic overhaul. If you are more into magic and all that fun stuff, you'll want this mod. I would recommend installing it anyway for another mod I have at the bottom of the list. But it is a really nice overhaul of the magic system. Balances, adds new spells, hand place rare spell tomes throughout the world. It's all really nice and nicely done. So, cheers to the person who made this. Magical College of Winterhold. Another one of those ones that kind of is a staple in any mod for Skyrim. Base Skyrim is base Winterhold is pretty lackluster. It's a nice, really big, impressive, imposing building, but apart from a few things, it doesn't really give off the magic vibe. This makes it feel like, yeah, there are mages here up to some fucked up shit. So, it's nice. And you'll see it right away once you get inside the college. You'll see a magic shell to protect against the snow falling. You'll see books flying around the Arcanium, and places where you can test your spells. It's really nice. This is a Anniversary Edition patch for it. Basically, there are some Creation Club content that requires the college. With this, it makes it so that those objects are just sitting on the floor. This puts them back on the tables. So it's just a quality of life thing. You don't need it, but it's nice. This adds in small little towns dotted throughout the map that you can find. And who could visit in the arena? What? I don't know. Oh, I see. Okay. Elder Scrolls Arena. These were towns that were in Arena, which was a previous Elder Scrolls title. But for whatever reason, they weren't in this game. So it just adds them in roughly where they would be. And it honestly is pretty nice. I come across them every so often, and it's like, oh, nice. It's just a quality of life thing. If you're playing in survival mode, it's a great place to get some food if you're just out in the wilds too far from the town. These mods are TNF player homes, overhauls. Basically makes them all look a bit different. I really like these because it just makes the houses look just so much better, in my opinion. Cheers to the mod offer for this. If, by the way, you have the glitch with the Thieves Guild, and you need to turn off the Unofficial Skyrim patch, or if you need to turn off the Unofficial Skyrim patch for whatever reason, you'll need to turn off these two as well. These will automatically turn back on the Skyrim patch when you leave, so keep that in mind. This mod, this fucking mod, is one of those ones that is just, I didn't know I wanted it until I got it type of a thing. A lot of small inns, like with the Riverwood, Falkreath, are just copy-paste. It's a big room, hearth in the center, 2 rooms to the left, 1 to the right, and if they feel spicy, there's a basement. That's it. No variety. This actually changes things up. They add in walls to make rooms, entry halls, side rooms for more guests, stairs going up into the rafters to make extra rooms. It's really nice. I will mention, this does screw up a little bit of a Creation Club content. There's a Creation Club content known as the Contest. It gives you gauntlets that do unarmed damage and melee damage buffs, as well as defense with your shield, and a longsword. Really nice. To start it, you need to go to Candlehearth Hall and find a journal sitting on a table. With this mod installed, that table is now a bed. So if you go to Candlehearth and you can't find the book, go upstairs, go to the back of the room, or go into the new room that's there, crouch and look around the seam of a bed in the back left corner. This will be where the book's at. It's just fused with the bed a little bit. You can still get it, it's just, yeah, it's kind of a annoying little bug. This is a mod. If you want to have it turned on, you can. I don't. Basically, what this does is turn Hearthfire manors into no reset zones, so you can put stuff on ground, on the tables, whatever, and they won't disappear after a certain amount of time. It's honestly pretty nice. The Violins Kill Move mod. So, in base Skyrim, you have the ability to do kill moves, but you can only do it to the last enemy in a area, or if you're doing a stealth kill before anyone else notices you. This removes that. This also allows you to do a bunch of other neat little things. So you can kill move literally everyone in an area. You can customize how the kill move works. You can have the camera go from first person to third person, or you can have it switch between them. You can be immune to damage while you're in a kill cam. You can mix up the melee with the one-handed weaponry, or two-handed weaponry even. So you will do, like say you have a sword and you go to do a kill cam, you may just grab them and start punching them while holding your sword instead. You can turn off ranged kill cams. You can have it slow-mo or not. It's all really nice and makes the battle a little bit more cinematic. Added to that, we have Immersive Realism Archery. This overhauls archery quite a bit. Let's go down a little bit. So, when you're stealth killing or sniping an enemy, sometimes they'll just randomly sidestep 20 feet to the left, even though they don't know you're there. That's gone. Arrows will no longer seek out enemies if they're close enough to damage them. You actually have to land your target, which is cool because it means you can also now lead your target. So you can like go, okay, they're running this way, well, go just a little bit in front of them, fire, and they'll run into the arrow. It's pretty nice. You also have to craft bundles of feathers to create arrows. Very simple, just find any hawk, turn over in Solstheim, the Bonehawk feathers, Hagraven feathers. You need 6 of them to create a bundle, and you'll be able to craft arrows or bolts, which is pretty nice. You'll also need to create a bowstring to make a bow, which is just tundra cotton and honeycomb. So, pretty realistic stuff. They also add in recipes for ancient Nordic arrows and Nord hero arrows. So it's pretty nice. I think this also turns the Bow of Shadows into the Steel Hunter Bow, which is a bow that you can get early on with the equivalents of Elven. Pretty quality of life stuff here. While talking to an NPC, they won't have these long, protracted pauses between sentences. So it won't be like, I need your help. There are bandits attacking in this cave over here. Instead, it's, I'll need your help. There's some bandits attacking in this cave over here. So it's pretty nice. I like it. Immersive patrols. Basically, you'll come across more Stormcloak, Thalmor, Imperial, and Dawnguard patrols, as well as Skull, Reaver, and Rakelings in Solstheim. If the patrols ever cross paths, they'll actually start a fight. Pretty cool. If you complete the Civil War questline, you can disable all enemy patrols. For example, say you enjoy the Imperials. Beating the Civil War will decrease the patrols of Stormcloaks. Destroying all of the Stormcloak encampments will pretty much remove their presence entirely. Pretty cool. I like it. It actually makes it it gives you a reason to actually go out and actually do the Civil War quest line, because it actually gives you a gameplay difference, which I like. Increased population named NPCs. You won't come across, just random beggar, unless you add a mod that adds in more NPCs. But this basically just gives names to a bunch of NPCs. Housecarl holds specific gear. Lydia will wear Whiterun armor. Raya will wear Falkreath. They all look pretty good in their armor, so it's a nice little thing. This mod. There's a Creation Club content called Pets of Skyrim. Adds in rabbit, goat, skeever, spider, and a fox. Pretty nice. This turns them into creatures from other Creation Club content. It's pretty nice. I would advise waiting until you finish those DLCs if you don't want to get spoiled by certain characters. But it's still pretty nice. It's also funny, every so often you get the notification saying Bone Colossus has milk to collect. I don't know if that's a threat or an invite. It's hilarious. I will warn you, if you have arachnophobia, do not do this mod, because the spider turning into the web mother is the thing of nightmares. This adds in a bunch of followers as well as villains, which are mini bosses dotted throughout the map, as well as weapon locations, so you can get some unique weapons as well. This makes the wild enemies, or the wild enemy pool, a lot more varied. It's not the same Sabercat 200 times. You'll see Sabercats with slightly different coloring every so often. It's honestly nice. Same thing with the dragons. This one can be changed out with Splendor Dragons variants if you want that. Splendor adds in 784 different types of dragons, which is nice. I personally prefer the various dragons because it seems more consistent as opposed to just the hundreds of dragons that you could possibly get. Bear in mind that there are only like, I don't know, 6 different dragon models in the game base. So 55 is still quite a bit. These 2 mods are for your character customization. It's pretty nice. Your characters actually do look pretty unique. My character actually makes heavy use of both of these. Some of them will add in the ability to have horns, give you the different eye shapes, hair colors, different hair types. You could have the orcish hair while you are a Nord. It's pretty cool. I like it. This gives texture overhauls to Whiterun, Solitude, some small villages, and some common furniture details. It's a pretty simple mod, but goes a long way in making the cities feel a little better. These mods are simple overhauls to the world to make it less repetitive. Dirt replacement changes the dirt, so it's more varied, not just the same model or same texture over and over and over again. Same thing with the rocks, exterior of inhabited farms, village houses, stone borders. It makes the world look just better. Dungeon textures makes the world look better as well. yeah, it all makes things look really nice. It's just quality of life textures. This adds Stalhrim to the mainland of Skyrim. You'll mostly find them in Nordic ruins, but there are a few placed throughout the world, which is pretty cool. It also unlocks the ability to craft your own ancient Nordic pickaxe, so you don't have to go to Solstheim. As a side effect, it also unlocks Stalhrim armor and weapons when you unlock the Ebony trees. I don't know why they did that. I personally would prefer just mainland Stalhrim, but you don't have to go on the side quest to get it, is what I'm trying to say. It's still not bad. You can just hold off on crafting Stalhrim if you want to until after you finish the quest for it. But it's still pretty nice. New grass in Green Skyrim. This changes the dirty look to have more grass, which is nice. This also covers up a lot of the repeating textures I mentioned earlier. Rain, snow effects. Basically, when it rains, your character will drip water. When it's snowing, your character will get frost. It's pretty simple. This is also one of the earlier mods that was available on the PlayStation when mods first came to us. So, yay! This mod, combined with this mod, Green Whitehold, or Whiterun, makes Whiterun just look gorgeous. I may fast travel there in a minute to show you it, but it is just beautiful. I really like it. If you get Whiterun, no, what was it called? Whiterun? Green Whiterun. I'm sorry. You have to get Brown Whiterun as well. It looks so much better, and it's pretty stable too. I haven't had any problems with it. Carriage for Golden Hills Plantation. Golden Hills Plantation is a part of the Farming Creation Club content. For whatever reason, they didn't have a carriage outside of it, which is like, why? This adds it in. If you want to go roleplay, turn this mod on after you get the Golden Hills Plantation. Other than that, you just have a carriage guy that sits there, watching you beat up a ghost. This adds in carriages to Dawnstar, Falkreath, Morthal, and Winterhold. For whatever reason, they've never had them. This is actually just pretty helpful, so. This is if you want to include it. I don't have it on right now. I switch it on and off every so often. But basically this adds in smithing categories. So instead of it being iron, steel, ebony, it's daggers, bows, heavy armor, light armor. It's pretty nice, but with a bunch of other mods and Creation Club stuff, it can get hard to find some things. So this is pretty useful, but when you have Anniversary Edition, it gets kind of bogged down. Extra craftables. This is something I'm experimenting on, but basically it allows you to gain faction armor, such as the Blade's armor after finishing Alduin's Wall, the Companion's armor after finishing the Silver Hand, Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, so on and such forth. I think as you progress, you will unlock more of these stuff. Like with Thieves Guild, you unlock base Thieves armor. Then when you get high enough, you'll unlock Nightingale and Guildmaster, Linway's armor. What does suck though is they are not unenchanted, so you'll have it's just another copy of the armor. So it's like, But since a lot of these armors are leveled, this is a good way of getting those leveled armors, even if you do the quest line early. So it's still a good way to keep up to date. Craft lockpicks, because I craft lockpicks. Smelting and tanning will increase your level in smithing. Don't know why that wasn't a thing to begin with. Same thing with house building. If you build a house, you will get levels up in smithing. This is my answer to extra craftables. This will allow you to craft cloth, light, and heavy variants of all of the armor sets, essentially. You can craft a cloth variant for Dark Brotherhood armor, so you can be a mage. Dark Brotherhood, you can craft a light armor variants. Bunch of stuff. Light and cloth armor for the Dragon Priest masks. It's just a bunch of stuff. It's all really, really nice. Light armored Spell Knight crafting. I love the Spell Knight armor. It is really nicely designed, in my opinion. I hate that that's all heavy armor. I would have loved light armor variants. This gives that to me. All of the light armor variants are craftable out the gate, so long as you have the categories. The heavy armor you still have to do the quest for, though. This is for if you just want to craft anything in the game. I have them for experimentations. This overhauls all 13 standing stones, so they all have different effects. Base game, all of them are just percentages, which is great, but it always devolves into I have the Lover's Stone for 15% extra EXP for everything. Get the Ethereum Crown. I'm not going to level up my Thieves Guild, my thieving stuff, so I'm going to have the Lovers and the Thieves. It's just... This makes it so you have a reason to have different standing stones, which I like. If you wish to cheat, here are the 4 cheat mods I highly advise. This adds in the QA smoke room for you to just collect everything. This adds in the Anniversary Edition for the QA smoke room, so you're able to access all of the Anniversary Edition stuff out the gate. This is a variant of the QA smoke room. It's something someone designed that has a little more to it, but not that much. It's just a nice little secondary thing to have. And this is for if you want to practice designing builds. Most instant mastery abilities or mods are skill books that just give you up to 100 in the skill, and that's it. This is a lot easier because you can go to a crafting area that they have and just craft one thing, max it out, legendary that skill, craft it again, and you can repeat ad infinitum. It makes things easier. And then you can sell the thing you crafted to a smithing at the entrance and back of the room for 100 gold, or turn them into statues of Debella for 1,000 gold. So, pretty useful if you are testing out builds, which is what I did to make the character I'm currently playing. This makes all the merchants in Skyrim have more money, because why does a merchant only have 200 septums when I'm carrying 3,000 and I have 500 wheels of cheese? So yeah, it's just a quality of life little perk. If you come across a bug that prevents you from buying a player house, such as Hirjim Hall in Winterhold, no, Windhelm, this just goes, fuck you, give me the house. And you just get it out the gate. You buy it. This also works for the Hearthfire houses as well, so it's pretty useful. This mod is useful just in general. You get 1 perk whenever you kill an enemy. The main reason why I have this is because of these 2 mods. They give you a lot more perks for each of the bestial transformations. Without this, leveling these 2 up would take forever. Because they just so many new perks added to it. So, quality of life perk with the perk trees. This mod is really cool. I love this mod author. He's really are really pushing the no scripting thing. Basically, it is a accumulation of a bunch of mods that they have made. Strange Magic, Beast Reversed Vampirism, Legacy of Beast Vivectus, and Dragonblood. What this does is adds in unique weapons and armor in the game that give you special effects. You can even play as Kain or Raziel from the Legacy of Kain series. You can find the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. You can buff up your Dragonborn nature, gain special abilities. It's all really cool. Still a little bit buggy in some locations, in some ways. Like some of the locations that is unlocked when you craft a scroll, which is how you find out where certain things are, don't point you in the right direction. I am working on a guide video showing where all these are, though, so yeah, it's going to take me a bit of time because there's a lot. But you get a lot of nice things out of this. I especially love the Vevictus because you can get Legacy of Kain stuff, you can get blood fountains for your vampirism, bat teleportations. It's all really cool. Strange Magic is also really cool. It's just a really cool mod that adds in a bunch of stuff. And it's also really nice when you go into a cave, not realizing it has one of the mods in it, or one of the relics in it, and just getting it, and it's like, oh, fuck. So it's nice. Unfortunately, it does turn off the compass. This mod allows you to turn it back on. Make sure to have it after the mod to make sure the compass works. Or you can just have it turned off. Doesn't matter. All you'll see is north, south, east, west, and whatever main quest you have active. This mod overhauls every single perk tree in the game and makes the game a lot more interesting. It is also one of the main reasons why I can play the game I'm currently playing, because it makes unarmed combat actually viable. It's really nice. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second, but it's just a really nice overhaul. The only downside to this is you will need to legendary a bunch of your skill trees if you want to make a viable build. They add in a lot of stuff. So you're either going to be very focused, or you're going to have to legendary a lot of skills. So, yeah, it's still pretty nice. But, just to give you a view of what the game looks like with all this stuff running, this, we'll go down here quickly, is what the game looks like with all the mods turned off. It's kind of dull and drab, but this makes it nice and pretty. This is a part of the Beast mod. You can craft the rings inside a smelter, I think. Under Specialized, yeah, here they are. 4 is the one I recommend. If you want to craft a scroll for the beast, go to a tanning rack. And under Specializations, you'll find the scrolls. As you can see, I have access to some of them. Journals like this will tell you information that you need to learn about each of them. So they're all pretty useful. DNAs will alter your character's abilities to be more focused into certain things. So it's pretty cool, honestly. Some of them do have prerequisites to do certain things, such as if you want to play as Kain, you need to be a vampire first. Then you'll unlock the vampire, the Kain DNA. And to show off Whiterun, like I mentioned I was going to, it just looks so much better. My only real complaint is the white tower not matching the brown aesthetic of the houses. But what can you do? And it's pretty stable.
You tried mercenary work? It might suit you.
And the town does feel lived in, which I thoroughly appreciate.
I ain't done nothing.
So yeah, it's a really nice mod setup. That is the load order I recommend. I'm also going to show you Riverwood just because. This is a good mod order if you want to play in Skyrim in 2023, in my opinion. It's very stable. I do get crashes every so often, but that's just... It's Skyrim. What do you expect? And over here, like I mentioned, is one of the stones that take you to the realm of Lorkhan. And yeah, it's a pretty good mod setup. I would recommend it for anyone who is coming back to Skyrim after playing, who've been away for a while playing like ESO or 76. Just to show off the realm of Lorkhan. Pop me up here. Oop. When you start the game, you actually spawn in right here.
Naik wishes you well.
And if you turn around, you'll find these throughout the world. These are your birthstones, so you can get passive buffs from them. These are all from the Stone reworks. Here are the classes, the boons, and the curses. They're all pretty good, and you even get some early game gold if you want to. And back here you'll have the factions if you want to join them. You can leave them by coming here at any point in time as well. But you can't turn off any boons you get. Just an example. Yeah. These are still going for a while. But yeah, I hope this was helpful for anyone who wants to play Skyrim again. It is a really good mod to have. And I hope you guys have fun with it. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Skyrim with all these mods turned on, so if you want to tune in to watch, you'll be able to see the game and how it runs for a much longer period of time. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video if you decide to stick around, but if not, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and if you do stay around, I hope you guys have an even better day. But until next time, I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.